So are you wanting to ditch digital distraction and you've even been flirting with the idea of getting a dumb phone, but you're not quite ready to abandon the smart world altogether? Maybe you need a device that has a few specific apps, but you don't want all the distraction that comes along with a big smartphone. Well, perhaps folks, I have the device for you. This is the Sleek phone, and this might be the perfect bridge for you between the smartphone and the dumb phone. Sleek is a company based out of the USA founded by two great dudes named Austin and Brennan. They reached out to me a few months ago and we've been in talks ever since. They decided to send me a model of the Sleek phone so I could try it out for myself, and I wanted to talk about it on the channel. I only got this a few days ago, so this is kind of just a first impressions video, but I will come back to it after about a month of trying it and I'll give you a full review. I spoke with Austin and Brennan shortly after getting this phone. They answered a few of my questions so that I could put it in this video, and then they kind of gave me a rundown on the device as well.
I mean, our whole goal and premise, like what we talked about before, is to get people off the phone as fast as possible.
So what Sleek does is they sell Google Pixel phones that have been installed with their own custom OS, which is a modified version of Graphene, but basically has a Dumbphone bend to it. Now, if you haven't heard of Graphene OS, what it basically is a DeGoogled open source operating system that can actually run on Google Pixel phones.
We're built out of the box DeGoogled, and we do that for being privacy and security forward. Just trying to do what we can to protect users' data to the best of our abilities. We're never going to sell data. The only thing we collect is Crashlytics and analytics.
With Graphene, even though it is a privacy-centric operating system, it really doesn't address any sort of dumb phone concerns, and you can distract yourself just like you could with any other smart device. With the Sleek phone, that is not the case. Sleek has their own version of an app store. It's called the Sleek Store. Maybe there's like 100 or maybe 150 apps on here, but the apps that they offer have one thing in common. They're not apps that are going to be time sucks on your life. They're not apps that you're going to find yourself scrolling on all the time.
Our app store is Sleek Store, and that's all the list of approved apps that we have. And you talk about our app model, a lot of it is, does it help you do something in your day-to-day environment quickly using technology, scanning? Is there any endless scroll? If there's a version of endless scroll, then we're not going to include it into the phone. No social media, no multimedia, no browser, no games. We won't even add e-readers. We're not adding anything that keeps you looking at your device for any length of time. Truly do turn it back into a tool.
And you guys are really good about, like, you'll add apps that are kind of like still in line with your values and what you guys want to do with the brand. Like when we talked last time, I told you that Wealth Simple is one of the ones that I use for investing, and that it is a mobile first platform. And then you guys were able to find Wealth Simple, kind of a way to get into that and make it work. One of the other great app inclusions on the Sleek phone is the app Beeper. I hadn't heard of Beeper before, but essentially what it does is it grabs all of the messages that you would get from different services, like maybe Facebook Messenger or Instagram or Discord, and it gathers them all into one app. This is great if you find social media to be distracting, but still rely on those platforms in order to keep conversations going with friends and family. With Beeper, you can chat with your friends and family on all of these platforms without having to get distracted by the apps themselves. You guys have found a really nice happy medium by kind of like child-proofing this, but you're taking away all the excuses. It's like, oh, I need Instagram because I need to talk to my friends on there. And it's like, well, you still can. You just can't scroll for like 3 hours.
Even if it's a scary sounding name like social media, is there any daily utility in it? And then how can we extract that and put that into the phone to make the phone's feature set maximally helpful while staying minimally distracting?
What's interesting about this phone is it kind of takes away that excuse that, oh, I would love to use a dumb phone, but I need this specific app, or I need this other specific app. Those apps, those most likely must-have essential apps, are ones that are going to be included on this device because it's things like email, it's things like I need a QR code scanner, it's things like I need a map service like Google Maps or Waze. Maybe you need access to your banking. That is covered on this device as well. Now this phone is pretty much focused on the needs, the specific smart apps that you may need in your day-to-day. There are entertainment-based apps on here like Spotify and a podcast app, but those are things you're not going to be looking at. They're things you're going to be listening to, and the guys were pretty intentional with which apps passed that filter. I asked them if they'd put Libby on here, which is an app that my library uses so I can get access to audiobooks and ebooks.
They told me no, because Libby has a visual component because you can download ebooks on there, and they don't want you to have any app where you're going to be unnecessarily staring at this device. One other really interesting thing about this device is how they've implemented the web. So rather than having a web browser, which could actually be a quite distracting thing in itself, almost distracting as social media, they've implemented Perplexity AI as a search bar down here. So you click this, and if you have any sort of query that you would normally go to a browser to find, like what is the weather today? When is this specific coffee shop or restaurant I'm going to open? Or what town is this thing in? Or what is the 50th president of the United States? You can just type that into here and the AI is going to pull up the answer for you.
Yep, ask it a question.
Okay. Gonna ask who you guys are. Do you think it's gonna come up?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about. Can I say this? Can I say the company Sleek?
Yeah. SLEKE.
Sleek is a company that develops a smartphone operating system called Odyssey OS, designed to provide a curated phone experience focused on essential communication and utility tools. So how does that work? Tell me a little bit about how that search function actually, what it's doing.
Yeah, so we use the Perplexity API.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it pulls from different web sources on the internet, where ChatGPT is a learned model. Perplexity just pulls from the internet.
Just so you get a sense, that is kind of the purpose of the AI browser on here. It's really to not get you to go into like a Wikipedia page and spend hours hyperlinking through Wikipedia. You won't be able to go on YouTube, or you won't be able to go on social media through the browser either. There is no real browser function on here. The AI is supposed to kind of answer all of the questions that you would typically go to a browser for. For things like QR code scanning, it does take you to the web browser that the QR code takes you to, but they have no search bar in that web browser and no way to navigate past that page. So essentially, if you use the QR code to, let's say, go to an online version of a restaurant's menu, for example, you're not going to be able to get past that page and then start using a web browser normally. You're just able to use the QR code to take you where you are going, and then you're back to living your life and you're not stuck in that device any further. So I think that's a pretty neat use of AI on this device. I found it pretty helpful since I've tried it out so far, and I'm excited to test the device more. Once again, I think this is a really cool device for people who are both looking for privacy, but also just want to make that jump to something like a Dumbphone or a more limited smart device while still not giving up all of the tools that are nice to have on a smartphone.
We just checked it for our analytics for the first time in a while, and our average screen time for our device is an hour a day.
Wow.
And it's kind of cool thinking that we're saving people, a day a week in screen time.
I think I read that the average person is like around 6 hours a day now. So
the impact that we found that isn't something that is immediately obvious is there's a certain calm and a certain peace that you don't remember having, even though we all experienced, especially at our age, probably in elementary school, ending in middle school, because that's when smartphones came online.
Where do we stand on this line of smartphone, dumb phone? But for us, we're trying to move beyond that. We're very curated. We're optimized. What if your phone is so curated, helping you truly get through a technological world without the distractions? That's optimized. You're not losing anything with that. You're gaining so much.
This was kind of just an early introduction where I wanted to show you guys the device, talk a little bit about it, and introduce you to the company Sleek. And then I'm going to give you a more fulsome review toward the end of a month once I've had time to use it more. I also have linked Sleek's site below if you want to learn any more about the company or the products that they offer. I think they're on the Google Pixel 7 right now. They gave me one of the early Google Pixel 5s to test out, and I'm really enjoying it. So I think the 7 would be even better. And even if you don't need a device, you can still check out the site because they have a blog on there where they write about a lot of similar topics to what I talk about on here, so it very much still might be of interest. Overall, I am very happy to have this device and to be able to try it out for the next little while. I will definitely report back to you guys my findings. If you have any specific questions, things you want me to test about this device, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll definitely do that, and I'll put that in my review when the time comes for that. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And between now and when I post that review in a month, I'm going to definitely share a lot of my experience trying this device out, and I'll be answering more questions about it on my Patreon. So if you want to see exclusive posts and videos about that, as well as support the channel, then check out the Patreon. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this brief look at the Sleek phone, and I will see you in the next video.